What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, newly crowned, three-belt, unified, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Errol the True Spence Jr., who is widely considered by many to be top three best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, with a record of now 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He recently is coming off of a dominating performance in which he picked up the WBA World Boxing Association strap from former WBA welterweight world champion Cuban star boxer Yordenis Ugas, in which he broke Yordenis Ugas' rib, his nose, and his right orbital bone. In the 10th round, he got to stop his victory. That set up for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing between Errol Spence and his biggest rival, an undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the top number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Bud Crawford, who is 38 wins, no losses, no draws, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age at 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, this is the fight the boxing world has been clamoring for. This is the fight that Errol Spence wants. This is the fight that Terence Crawford wants. So obviously there's a lot of breakdowns, a lot of people's, discussing the fight, speculations, things of that nature. So Errol Spence, he was asked about this fight, and he was being referred to as other superstars. So he stated, somebody referred to him and well-renowned trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer Derrick James, as Shaq and Kobe. This is Shaq and Kobe versus Brian Bomac McIntyre, who is Terence Crawford's manager and trainer, who is a well-renowned trainer of the year, and Brian Bomac McIntyre, right? And they referred to him as Shaq and Kobe. And Errol Spence, he's referred to it as, Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich. Tim Duncan versus Kevin Garnett, right? So if you don't know the reference, don't understand the reference, he stated that he's Tim Duncan and Derrick James is Greg Popovich. And that makes, then he stated that, so Errol Spence is Tim Duncan and Terence Crawford is Kevin Garnett. The history, if you don't know about NBA, National Basketball Association's Hall of Fame icon, world champion, superstars, Tim Duncan, who was a 5-time world champion, and Kevin Garnett, who was a 1-time world champion. But Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, they went head to head for years. Who was the best power forward? The position they played, power forward. Who was the best? Okay. Many people refer to Tim Duncan as being the best. Okay. Kevin Garnett was versatile, right? I think that this is the great comparison. Okay. I think that this is the perfect comparison because Kevin Garnett is viewed as the big fundamental. Okay. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't, emotional on the court. He just, you look up, okay, and you look, and he has 35 points, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks, 2 steals, okay, and you don't know when he did it. Kevin Garnett is more a flashy, more of a splash, right? He has more of a wiry frame, okay? Tim Duncan was the stronger guy, the bigger, stronger guy. Kevin Garnett was the more versatile guy. He was seen as the better pure athlete, okay? Where people say that Terence Crawford is viewed as the better pure athlete, the more versatile athlete, the better pure boxer. Errol Spence is viewed as the more fundamental boxer, okay? The more disciplined boxer. So Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, they went head to head for years on the basketball court. Kevin Garnett, he expressed his emotions on the basketball court. Terence Crawford is an emotional boxer. Once he gets touched once, Terence Crawford, he wants to be a dog. As Andre Ward, retired or Olympic gold medalist, 2-division world champion, Hall of Famer, iconic superstar boxer Andre S.O.G. Ward, He referred to it as Terence Crawford, all boxing goes out the window. He throws all boxing caution out the window, and he's just a fighter, right? And that's Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is a world champion, okay? Kevin Garnett was loyal to a default, okay? Tim Duncan, he ended up in a better situation. Tim Duncan was getting all the accolades, okay? Tim Duncan was on a better team, okay? Tim Duncan was able to have a better situation. Kevin Garnett, he was on Minnesota. Tim Duncan went to San Antonio Spurs in Texas. Kevin Garnett went to the Minnesota Timberwolves, okay? And Kevin Garnett, his loyalty saw him stay with the Timberwolves, which was hindering him from getting a championship and getting more exposure. Hence, Terence Crawford staying with top-ranked legendary promoter Bob Arum and ESPN and not getting the big fights, okay? He didn't get the big fights until the end, okay, the end of his career. Kevin Garnett, he ended up leaving Minnesota, but he had to be pushed into leaving Minnesota because of his loyalty, okay? And he ended up going to the Boston Celtics, teaming up with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, more Hall of Famers, and he ended up winning the championship, making a mark, going to finals multiple times, but he only got one out of it, but that's what he's known for now, okay? Terence Crawford finally parted ways with Bob Arum, Top Rank, and ESPN, and the big fight is coming for him. He just had his last fight with Top Rank, which was the biggest fight in his career, against two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. Looks like this fight with Errol Spence is going to happen. So at the end of his career, he's going to finally come over, and we're going to see him fight against the best fighters. For the instance, Kevin Garnett, he finally left Minnesota, an organization that was a bad organization. Not that Top Rank, ESPN, and Bob Arum was a bad organization. They just wasn't able to fulfill the fights that he needed for his career. So he left from Top Rank. Kevin Garnett left from Minnesota. Okay, he got the exposure. We got to see Kevin Garnett in the biggest stage, championships, similar to Terence Crawford. When Kevin Garnett scores baskets, you let his emotion be known in the ring, on the basketball court. When Terence Crawford gets hit, gets clipped, his emotions show in the ring. Starts sticking out his tongue, as he did with Shawn Porter. Starts, antagonizing his opponents. He's more emotional about it. As Andre Ward always says, like I said, he goes away from boxing. It's no longer boxing. He just wants to fight. Okay. On the flip side of that, Errol Spence is the thumper, right? Tim Duncan, he wear you out. That's what Errol Spence is. He wears you out. He wears you down, okay? So Errol Spence is Tim Duncan. Not a lot of flash, not a lot of flair, right? Now, his outfits as of late have been more flashy, but not a lot of flash, not a lot of flair, and that's Tim Duncan, right? Natural leader. He just goes in there, handles business, and gets up out of there, right? He dominates you. He wears you down. That's Errol Spence, right? He walks you down. He wears you down. He sets a very high pace and starts to break you down. Not very fast hands, not very fast feet, just strong, hard hat, and lunch pail, right? That's Tim Duncan. Not the most athletic guy, not jumping out the roof, not shooting three-pointers, not jumping, flying up and down the court. He basic dunks. Okay, he's not overly powering with his dunks. He just dunking the score. That's Errol Spence, okay? Errol Spence is just doing what he needs to do, changing levels, going to your body to get you out of there, okay? Kevin Garnett, he'll dunk on you. His athletic ability was off the charts. Terence Crawford have the ability to switch from southpaw to orthodox, okay? Power in both hands, very rangy, very lanky. That's Kevin Garnett. Very very thin, wiry frame, very rangy, very lanky, right? Kevin Garnett, athletic ability, jumps off the charts, dunking all over the place, catching alley-oops, okay? Shooting mid-range, shoot the three-pointer, shoot hooks, more of a flashy game. Terence Crawford, more of a flashy fighter. Switches from southpaw, uppercuts, right? From southpaw, orthodox angles. You understand? Errol Spence is not a switch fighter. He doesn't switch from southpaw to orthodox. He's a basic disciplined fighter. So I can see the comparison. Now, obviously, Tim Duncan, he beat Kevin Garnett in the playoffs a lot, okay? Tim Duncan is a 3-time finals MVP, 5-time world champion, 2-time MVP of the league, 15-time All-Star. So we understand this, right? Kevin Garnett, he won 1 world title, okay? But Kevin Garnett is a Hall of Famer. He's an icon in the sport of basketball, okay? He didn't win as many titles as Tim Duncan, but he was widely considered. If Kevin Garnett would have left earlier, okay, Kevin Garnett would have won more world titles. So he won 1 world title. He won the MVP once, 15-time All-Star matching Tim Duncan. So you can understand the comparison, okay? And when Kevin Garnett played against Tim Duncan, the NBA stopped. The basketball fans, the basketball world stopped. Everybody wanted to see. And they put up numbers against each other, okay? Just Tim Duncan was able to edge it out against Kevin Garnett. But Kevin Garnett, he was carrying the load, okay? He didn't have the teams that Tim Duncan had, okay? The talent around him all the time. Errol Spence, he had the proper team around him to make him the superstar that he is today. He does bigger pay-per-view numbers. He's viewed as a bigger star. He does sells out bigger arenas, right? Because of the team. He decided to make the decision to sign with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion Founder and Advisor Al Heyman. Okay, he understood that that was the route that he needed to go. Kevin Garnett signed with the Terence Crawford signed with Bob Arum, ESPN. That was a loyalty move. Okay, he wanted to stay with who first gave him the opportunity to fight on the big stage was ESPN top ranking Bob Arum. Okay, that was Kevin Garnett. He wanted to stay with the team that drafted him and believed in him from the beginning, and he did so almost to a default. The end of his career, he almost didn't get get on the biggest stage and win the championship. That's Terence Crawford, 34 years of age right now. He'll be 35 in September. Time is almost passing by before he get the big fights. So I can understand the comparison. I think it's the exact comparison. One is big, strong. They're both about this, not too far in size, but one has a thinner, wiry frame in Kevin Garnett, like Terence Crawford. The other one has a thicker, stronger build in Tim Duncan and Errol Spence. Big fundamental is Tim Duncan's name, and Kevin Garnett's name is the big ticket, the big draw, the big sell, right? So let's see how this unfolds. Can't wait to see how this fight plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.